Hey everybody, it's Jason Blah here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, including some training footage of me as a squatting slab in a tracksuit, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And guess what, guys? The big news. Netherbeast is back. Let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing. We're going to scale up my crafting a little bit and let's talk about this. And I believe his new channel is called Expanding Universe Creations. I'll link it down below so you guys can go subscribe for all the mints. And before people say, well, what's up with that name? Well, you guys got to remember, Nether is actually a shaman by profession. That is his actual profession these days. He's a shaman. And he has a whole price list available of all the services he offers for past life regression and all that stuff. We can help you guys out. So yeah, go check his channel out. But what I'm excited about is now that he's back, he's officially back, I'm hoping to see the next collaboration with AlphaDestiny. Because that interview that they did together, I felt like there was real chemistry. There was passion there. There was passion like starstruck lovers, two ships passing in the night. The bear and the cub. Because they're they're both very passionate about partial reps and dodgy camera angles and stuff. Stuff that they believe in. Like it's central to the core of their training philosophy. Show half the exercise on the camera. And again, odd lifts. Odd lifts. I mean, they are two peas in a pod. Two peas in a pod. So, I felt like there was real chemistry there. I'm really looking forward to seeing that next collaboration between the two. Because I think there's some real potential there. There's some real potential for the mints. So yeah, I would actually encourage Alpha to go ahead and get him on again, do another interview, talk about him leaving YouTube and what really happened. And Alpha had said before, Alex, whatever we want to call him, he had said he very much believed that his lifts were real. He supported him 100%, that he was convinced of it. That's what he said originally. So, they need to get on and discuss that. They need to get on and discuss the reality of Netherbeast's amazing shaman strength. But, more importantly, people are like, well, what's he doing back on YouTube? Well, mostly he's doing World of Warcraft. Mostly he's got like one lifting clip up. He's got over 150 clips of him doing arenas. There's the original WoW arena YouTuber. You say, Athene, what's your rating? Like, I don't see him posting his rating anywhere. He's got all these arena matches, but no rating listed. And I don't know what Athene would think about that. Again, for those who remember the original Athene, so Athene would ask, does he have that around the corner? You're old school if you remember that, by the way, guys. That is some original gamer YouTube mints right there with Athene. He used to be my favorite YouTuber when I was more of a gamer. He was hilarious. I loved that guy. But Nether's not quite having that level of personality. He needs to step it up a bit. He needs to put more personality into those arena matches. What else is he doing? He's talking about different herbs that can help you. Different herbs, because if you guys remember, he talked a lot about that in his ebook, which, someone has sent me a copy of, of how to increase your strength with coffee enemas and all sorts of stuff, So there was a big obsession with the colon in his ebook. It was very, very important, all about colon health and gut health, and again, coffee enemas and herbal enemas and everything else. Again, I think there's some potential there between Alex and Bogey. I believe that's his real name, isn't it? Did I get it right? Did I say it right? Bogey? Boogie? I don't know. But the fact is, he's back. He's back, and I think he needs to jump back in and be part of the YouTube fitness community. He needs to bless all of us with his feats of strength and his knowledge of colon health and all of that stuff. But yeah, more importantly, I would really like to see him collaborate with Alex because, again, they have a lot in common with what they do, and Alex absolutely backed him. And Alex is himself a supposed experienced lifter. He knows a lot about lifting, and Alex was absolutely convinced that his lifts were real. Which kind of brings me to another point. You've got a guy here who claims to have a lot of experience, and he's watching this, and everyone else who is watching this, all of us are watching the whole Netherbeast fiasco, shaking our head going, these are very obviously what's going on with these lifts. Like anyone with any real lifting experience was all just going, you know, people said, Jason, how come you didn't say anything? I did in my comments, to the factor where Netherbeast made a response video to my comments when people kept asking me about him, and I'm like, God, they're obviously fake lifts. Yet here it was, Alex got up and made an official statement that no, he believed they were real. He believed they were real. Now, the question I'm going to ask for all the fanboys, I mean, you people get so obsessed with following a person, and I think Bugenhagen really nailed this a couple months back when he said, you people, instead of looking at the quality of information you guys put, you guys get caught up in the personalities of people. You identify in some way with some of these YouTubers, and rather than look at the quality of the information, you accept them as all good and bad. Like even it got brought up to me, a lot of you guys who hate me act like my information isn't going to be useful to you. And that's just silly. It's absolutely silly that if you don't like someone's personality or you identify with someone, that somehow their information must be really, really good. And, you know, that's part of the problem we have there. You know, you have someone like Alex who literally didn't have the wherewithal to even know that these are fake lifts. Now, how much experience can someone have as a lifter if they can't even look at something that obvious and realize there was something going on? I mean, he put his reputation on the line. And that's the thing that shocks me, is that all of his fans watched him put his reputation completely on the line, backing this guy who was very obvious to anyone with any real training experience that there was something wrong there. It was really obvious, yet he put his reputation on the line, and the thing is, his fans just accepted the whole line of BS, and even when it came out later that it was all fake, even though, again, Netherbeast claims that his lifts were real, they were all legitimate, nothing was faked. Alex supported that, and there was no blowback. Like that's what amazed me. There was zero blowback. And I think that's a big problem. Again, as the Boog said, that people get so caught up in the worship of the personalities of YouTubers. They either love someone or hate someone. And if they love someone, it's like they can do no wrong. And if they hate someone, they can do no right. And it's this really bizarre thing. And that would be fine for entertainment, you know. If you're looking for entertainment value from people, because maybe you just like Alex, you find him entertaining, you think he's funny. Or you like me or think I'm entertaining or funny, or someone else, or you dislike it, you don't like our personalities. People need to learn to separate the entertainment value of YouTube, the quality of entertainment, because either you like someone or you don't, versus what they're actually saying is information, the knowledge they're giving, things like that. And it's like there's this disconnect there. There's this absolute disconnect. It's a disconnect. You know, that people can't critically judge information because they get so caught up in the personalities. And in a way, it's a real problem. And you know what? People will say, well, some of your fans who love you are the same way. That's true. That is true. I'm not going to claim that's not the case. There are people, just like with anything else, who, even if I said everything right, who would hate me. And there are people who, even when I get stuff wrong, because they, for whatever reason, they like me, they like what I do, they're a fan, who, when I get stuff wrong, they'll still back it. And it really shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. We need to be able to critically assess what people are telling us. And I think it's the worst usually in the younger, more naive lifters, because they get more caught up in the personality of the person rather than the quality of the actual information and what they're saying. And the other problem we have in the lifting world is that, unfortunately, a lot of the people who come here and follow people, they simply do not know enough about lifting. They do not know enough about sports sciences. They don't know enough about adaptative stress and how the body goes through the various stress recovery adaptation cycles. They don't understand how different joint angle specificities work, leverages, moment arms. And people start giving them information, and they actually have no way to critically assess that information. All they really have to go on is, you know, how much does this guy lift, or how does this guy look? And that's literally the entirety of what they're looking at. When in some cases it might be fake lifts, it could be dodgy lifts, they're really not as strong as they appear to be. There could be fake plates involved. There's genetics, there's drugs, there's everything else. I mean, we see that all the time on YouTube Fitness. There are guys who literally training knowledge, and I'm not even going to pick on Alex here. I mean, there are people who Alex is a damn genius compared to in terms of training, and I don't think he knows that much. I really don't. I think he gets more wrong than he gets right. Not saying he doesn't get some stuff right, because everyone does, but there are people who he would look like an exercise giant's genius compared to, who have these amazing physiques, who are very genetically gifted, and they blast a ton of trend. You know, those people can literally train like morons. And yet, by that same token, those people will build a big following with people who will hold on to every word they say, sometimes even when they have no real personality to speak of either. They can barely even speak coherently on a camera, let alone have no knowledge, yet we see it. Or again, people get caught up in the personality. They get caught up in the personality and they lose that objectivity. What do we do about it? I don't know. I don't know, because the only thing that can be done about it is for people as individuals to learn to just step back and say, am I really assessing what this person is saying correctly, or am I basing what they're saying based upon some other measure, because maybe I don't know enough to know if they're telling me the truth or not. Maybe I really don't know, or it's their personality that I make the basis on. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is, because at the end of the day, I think what we all have to remember, YouTube, like anything else, I used to always think of it as a teaching tool. There was so much little valuable information for different things. I could come on and learn how to do whatever, fix something that's broken, or learn some valuable stuff. But there's so much bad information. But we've come to a point where it really is, at the end of the day, guys, it is about entertainment. I mean, YouTube carries a little bit of everything, but ultimately, entertainment does tend to be the larger driving force on YouTube, instead of just information these days, and it just is what it is. When the reality is, I think that a platform like this really has the potential to do all of it. I think it can actually have a good balance. I think it can deliver all of those things. It's just, unfortunately, with the cult of personalities, it can really dilute the quality of information. And, you know, it is what it is. I don't know if there's a solution to that, other than people who want to learn how to do something correctly. They themselves are just going to have to make the decision of learning to separate between the personalities versus the information. Because ultimately, if you can't separate those two, you probably don't want to come to YouTube for information. You're going to fail. It just is what it is. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.